$6,000. That's the price of admission for the exact same V6, the exact same platform, and the exact same bones that Lexus buyers paid 40 grand for, minus the badge and the soft leather. I've had people roll into my bay in $55,000 luxury SUVs that couldn't clear 90,000 miles without a repair estimate long enough to ruin their week, while this thing quietly stacks up $300,000 on parts it left the factory with. Dealers stay quiet about it because nobody gets rich selling an SUV that refuses to break. After 2 decades of turning wrenches, I've watched folks finance the emblem when they could have bought the engineering for pocket change. Today I'm handing you the poor man's Lexus. Let's get into it. The vehicle is the first-generation Toyota Highlander, the 2001 through 2007 model, and specifically the V6. Now, before you click off because it looks like something your aunt drove to church, let me explain what you're actually looking at, because this is the part the badge snobs never figured out. That first-gen Highlander was built on Toyota's K platform. You know what else was built on that exact platform? The Lexus RX 300 and RX 330. They're not cousins. They're not kind of similar. They are under-the-skin siblings that roll down related assembly lines, sharing the same suspension geometry, the same drivetrain philosophy, and this is the kicker, the same engine. The RX was the one they wrapped in wood trim and charged luxury money for. The Highlander was the one they sold to normal people. Same heart, different suit. Toyota basically took its best-selling luxury SUV, stripped the pretense off it, and sold it for thousands less. And now, 20-some years later, both of them have depreciated down to the same gravel, which means you can buy the honest one for the price of a decent used motorcycle. Let me tell you about the customer who changed my mind on ever recommending anything else in this price range. About 3 years back, a nurse in her early 50s came into the shop, stressed out of her mind. Her daughter was heading to college 4 hours away, and she wanted something shife and dead reliable to hand down, but her whole budget was 7 grand. She'd been looking at a 2014 Ford Escape with the 1.6 EcoBoost, 110,000 miles, and a dealer asking $8,900. I asked her to let me look before she signed anything. I pulled the history, checked what was coming due, and told her straight. That little turbocharged EcoBoost has a reputation for coolant intrusion and overheating, and she'd likely be into it for real money inside 2 years. She asked what I'd put my own daughter in. I pulled up the listings right there and showed her a 2006 Highlander V6 Limited, one owner, 128,000 miles, garage kept, for $6,400. She made a face. That's an old lady car. I told her it was a Lexus RX in work clothes and she'd thank me later. She bought it. That was 31 months ago. Her daughter is now at 171,000 miles. Total spent on repairs in that whole stretch? A little over $400, 1 set of front brake pads, a battery, and a serpentine belt. That's it. She texted me over the holidays. Her words, not mine. This thing is going to outlive both of us. Here's the engineering, because this is where you understand why it just refuses to die. From 2001 to 2003, the V6 Highlander runs Toyota's 1MZ FE, a 3-liter making 220 horsepower. From 2004 to 2007, it steps up to the 3MZ FE, a 3.3-liter putting out around 215 to 230 horsepower, depending on the year. These are the same MZ family V6s that powered the Lexus RX 300 and RX 330. Not a similar engine, the actual engine. And the MZ V6 is one of the smoothest, most overbuilt 6-cylinders Toyota ever produced. It's a naturally aspirated engine, which means there is no turbo to cook itself, No wastegate to stick, no boost plumbing to spring a leak. Fewer parts that can fail is the entire secret. Every luxury SUV on the lot right now is trying to squeeze big power out of a small, stressed turbo motor. This thing makes its power the boring, unbreakable way. Now I'm going to give you the honest part, because I don't sell fairy tales, and this is the one thing you need to know before you buy. These MZ engines use a timing belt, not a chain. Toyota's interval is 90,000 miles, or roughly 7 to 9 years, whichever hits first. And the 3.3-liter 3MZ is an interference engine, meaning if that belt snaps because some previous owner ignored it, the valves and pistons can meet, and that's a bad, expensive day. So here's the rule. You find out if the belt has been done. If it hasn't, you get it done immediately, and you're looking at roughly $600 to $900, including the water pump, since a good mechanic replaces the pump while he's already in there. That's it. That is the single scheduled service that actually matters on this vehicle. Do that one thing on time, and this engine will run past 300,000 miles laughing at you. I've personally seen these MZ V6s cross 280,000 and 290,000 on original internals. Not, I heard about one, I've had them on my own lift. The transmission is just as honest. The 2001 to 2003 trucks use a 4-speed automatic, and the 2004 and up 3.3-liter gets a 5-speed. Both are traditional torque converter automatics. No continuously variable transmission that whines and slips. No dual-clutch gamble that eats itself at 70,000 miles like some European units do. It's an old-school automatic that Toyota built to survive abuse, and it does. The all-wheel drive system is the same story, simple, sealed, and durable. It's a full-time setup meant to claw you out of snow, mud, and a slick boat ramp. It is not a rock crawler, and I'll come back to that. But for what 95% of people actually need an SUV to do, to get through a bad winter without drama, it just works, and it rarely needs a thing. Now let's talk numbers, because this is where the whole thing gets a little insulting. A clean first-generation Highlander 5.6 with the belt done and reasonable miles is sitting right now around $6,000, and even the high mileage but solid examples in the 140,000-mile range are landing in that $6,000 to $8,000 window. Kelley Blue Book private party values on the 2006 and 2007 models hover in the mid-$4,000 to mid-$5,000 range. Meanwhile, go look at what a new one costs. A brand new 2026 Toyota Highlander stickers north of $40,000, and a new Lexus RX 350 runs from the low $50,000 range well past $60,000. That's the same nameplate lineage asking you for 10 times the money. And here's the punchline that makes those new luxury SUVs a genuine joke. Both the Highlander and the RX killed off the V6 back in 2023. The new luxury RX and the new Highlander are both powered by turbocharged 4-cylinder engines now. So the smooth, naturally aspirated timing belt and forget it 6-cylinder that made these things legends, you literally cannot buy it new anymore. The old $6,000 truck has an engine that is simpler and, in my professional opinion, more likely to see 300,000 miles than the complicated Turbo 4 they are charging you $50,000 for today. Let me put real repair math on it from my shop, not dealer fantasy pricing. Front and rear brake pads, all 4 corners, around $320. A water pump, if it ever goes, bundled with the belt, $600 to $900. An alternator, maybe $450 installed. A full set of coil-on-plug ignition and plugs, a few $100s. These are cheap, common, no-drama parts you can get anywhere. Now compare that to the modern luxury SUV crowd. A turbo replacement on a European SUV can run you $3,000 to $6,000. An air suspension bag failure, which those things love to do around 90,000 miles, is another $2,000 a corner. A mechatronic unit in some of those fancy transmissions is a four-figure repair before anyone has even opened the hood. The math is not close. It is not even in the same area code. If this straight talk is saving you from a bad decision, do me a favor and hit subscribe. I have got more videos coming on exactly which SUVs the dealers push hard versus the ones that quietly make you money, and I do not pull punches on either. All right, if you are going to go buy one of these, here's my inspection checklist. Follow it and you will skip the 2 or 3 examples that got neglected. First, and this is the whole ballgame, get proof of the timing belt. Ask for a receipt with a date and a mileage. If the seller cannot tell you when it was last done, and the truck is over 90,000 miles or older than 9 years since the last service, assume it has not been done and negotiate that $600 to $900 job right off the price. Do not be scared of a truck with an unknown belt. Just make sure you are not paying full freight for a service you are about to buy. Second, check the OIL. Pull the dipstick and look at the level and the color. The early 1MZ FE 3.0-liter engines, in particular, can develop an appetite for oil as they age, so you want to see it topped up and clean, not a quart low and black as coffee. Low, filthy oil tells you the owner treated maintenance like a suggestion, and on any engine, that is the thing that kills it. Third, test the all-wheel drive. Take it to an empty parking lot, crank the wheel to full lock, and drive a slow, tight circle both directions. You are listening for binding, clunking, or a shudder. Smooth and quiet means the drivetrain is healthy. Any grinding or hopping, walk away. That is a differential or coupling telling you it is tired. Fourth, look hard at the front dashboard and the interior plastics if it's lived its life in a hot state. Some of these years developed sticky or cracking dash material under years of brutal sun. It's not mechanical and it won't strand you, but it's a bargaining chip, and it tells you whether the truck was babied in a garage or baked in a driveway. Fifth, and this is the pro move, buy the empty nester truck. I'm serious. The single-owner Highlander that a retired couple drove to the grocery store and to see the grandkids, garaged every night, and serviced at the dealer every single time, is basically a time capsule. A one-owner 2006 with 110,000 gentle miles and a folder full of receipts is worth paying a little more for than a cheaper truck with a mystery history and 4 previous owners. Condition and maintenance beat mileage every day of the week on a Toyota. Now, who should actually buy this thing? If you're a parent buying a first car for a kid, this is about as good as it gets under $7,000. It's big enough to be safe in a crash, boring enough that they won't street race it, and reliable enough that you won't be wiring them repair money at midnight. If you're a commuter who just wants something that starts every morning for the next 10 years and sips a reasonable amount of fuel for a V6, roughly 18 to 19 miles per gallon in the city and 23 to 25 on the highway, this is your truck. If you're someone who's tired of watching your neighbors bleed money into flashy German and turbocharged SUVs, and you'd rather quietly drive the reliable one and keep your cash, welcome home. And if you want genuine Lexus-grade engineering, because that's literally what this is, without the Lexus payment, there is no better-kept secret in the entire used market. Who should skip it? A few honest cases. If you need a real 3-row family hauler with usable space for 6 or 7, This first gen is a two-row truck for most of its run, and it's on the smaller side. You'd want the roomier second generation. If you want to actually go off-road, and I mean rock ledges and deep trails, this is not that vehicle. The all-wheel drive is built for weather, not wilderness, so buy a 4Runner instead. If you can't stand the idea of a scheduled timing belt and you want to set it and forget it timing chain, then step up to the second generation Highlander from 2008 to 2013 with the 3.5-liter 2GR FE V6. That engine is chain-driven, makes 270 horsepower, and is arguably even more bulletproof, but you'll pay more, usually in the $8,000 to $12,000 range instead of $6,000. And if resale value in 3 years is your top priority, understand you're buying this to drive it into the ground, not to flip it. That's fine. That's the whole point. Here is the part that really twists the knife on the new luxury market. When you buy a $60,000 SUV today, you drive it off the lot and it starts hemorrhaging value the second the tires hit the road. 5 years in, a chunk of that money is simply gone, evaporated into depreciation. The first-gen Highlander already took that beating 20 years ago. It has done all its depreciating. It has hit the floor and bounced. The person who bought this truck new ate the entire $35,000 loss, so you don't have to. You're stepping in at the very bottom of the curve, where a Toyota Vi6 costs about the same as 3 or 4 car payments on the shiny new one, and you're getting a drivetrain that, in my experience on the lift, is more likely to reach 300,000 miles than half the turbocharged stuff wearing a premium badge in the new car showroom. That's the trick nobody in the industry wants to say out loud. Luxury, most of the time, isn't better engineering. It's the same engineering with nicer stitching and a bigger price tag. The Highlander and the RX proved that 2 decades ago, same platform, same MZ AV6, same reliability, and one of them cost thousands less then and costs a fraction now. The badge was always the most expensive fake part on the whole vehicle. So there it is, the poor man's Lexus, a 2001 through 2007 Toyota Highlander Vive 6, built on the same platform as the Lexus RX, running the same MZ family 6-cylinder, sitting on used lots right now for around $6,000, while people 2 spaces over are financing $60,000 luxury SUVs with turbo 4 cylinders and air suspension time bombs. Do the timing belt on schedule, buy the one with the clean history, change the oil like you mean it, and this thing will still be running long after those shiny new ones are back at the dealer for their 3rd repair. Next time you're standing on a lot and a salesman is steering you toward a 3-year-old luxury lease return with a scary warranty gap, you'll know exactly what you're really paying for and what you could have bought instead. Now, if you want to see the SUVs that have earned true legend status in my shop, the ones that mechanics buy for their own families because they simply will not die, I put together a whole video on it, and it's sitting right here waiting for you. 20+ years of watching cars roll in and roll back out taught me one thing above all: the badge doesn't keep you on the road, the engineering does. Hit like if this saved you some money, subscribe for more truth. The dealerships would rather I keep to myself and take care of that engine. Do the belt. It'll take care of you. Take it or leave it. I'll see you in the next one.